to the streamer that provides me so much content on his stream.
Thanks for Thanks for resubbing, man.
It's those emos.
Alrighty. Hey everybody, welcome on in.
Hi.
Hi.
Can you guys hear us? Are we good this week? Maybe? Yes? No? Yeah.
Check.
I think we're
Check
good.
one.
I think we're good. Hello. How's everybody doing?
Hello.
Welcome on in to the Marbles podcast. We're here.
I hope I don't throw anybody this week because we're not going to get all those fun, goofy moments where I'm like,
Or will
stuck on
we?
screen.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. Don't do that to me. Don't do that, okay? I'm still having enough anxiety about that as it is. Oh my god. Oh
Just mess with
man.
you. Jamie,
Jamie,
you're
you're frozen. You're frozen. That's okay. I have the stream
Oh my
up right
God, that
over
was
here, so I can
hilarious.
verify it. I'm like, oh man.
Today's the last week for exclusive marble. Cow
Yes.
Marble. I
Yes.
just realized that.
Yeah, last
It
week
is.
to win the banner, the Mad Cow banner.
That's right.
And next season we have something special coming for the exclusive.
Oh.
Yeah.
Have you displayed it anywhere?
It has been displayed in certain places. It has been displayed.
Maybe the Discord.
I'm probably in the Discord.
Maybe in the Discord.
In the Discord.
But yeah, I guess talking about it's the end of the season again. So right, the exclusives rotate out. We'll have the downtime Monday, Tuesday, and then we roll out Wednesday.
Yeah.
A new season, season 17. Apparently your audio is a bit low, Jamie.
Mine is.
Yeah, I've you
It usually is through the streams. I've noticed that. Like I might sound really loud to you, but
What's the Discord? Exclamation point Discord.
Who?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been on this is week 3. This is the third community day me not doing.
Yeah, how's that feel?
I mean it's good.
Enjoy watching?
It's good for like working. Like I just work all day and just plug away at the game and pachinko and try to just keep things moving forward. And so that's been good, but obviously I think I'm starting to miss streaming. So I'm going through those like thoughts now, I guess.
Well, maybe you can be a weekend warrior.
I could be a weekend warrior.
yeah.
Just something to think about. I don't know.
Studios Weekend Warrior.
No, there's a return planned. I just got to
Nice.
get to the right point. We got a lot going on in the background, so it's actually a great time to do this and
Yeah.
experience this. I mean, mostly like streaming for like 2 years almost straight and not really having any time off in between that for streaming. And then having it is like weird. At first it was like, what am I doing? Like I'm supposed to be live. Like you're in the habit, you're in the swing of things.
Oh, I definitely went through that phase.
And then how did you find like evolving out of it?
It was hard. I don't know. It was really hard. But then once I was kind of there, I don't know. I guess I'm not still there because I still feel weird when I'm not streaming. But I'm always thinking about like doing something else. I guess to try to I'm always thinking about streaming. But
Right.
I'm just not always streaming.
Do you find that it helps you think more, like get more through your thoughts about streaming as opposed to when you stream a lot?
Yes. 100%. And you can make the stream more impactful if you're not just for that reason, being able to think about it a little bit.
Right. Yeah, I find that
Yeah,
it's pretty powerful.
Yeah. I think you get out of that mode or out of that phase once you have figured out how many other things you can do when you're not on camera. I think that has a lot to do with it. So you're even though you're not, it goes back to something we talked about a long time ago. Even though you're not on camera, doesn't mean you're not working.
Right.
You know, it doesn't mean you're not working on something for your content or working on something for your stream. You know, whether you're doing YouTube stuff, whether you're doing channel development where you're building out new alerts, things like that, whether you're, you know, even something as simple as like, you know, working out with business contacts, things like that. Like you suddenly find yourself constantly gelling your social media, you know, you find yourself constantly gelling with everything. And I think that's when that it's almost like it's weird for a while, because you get in the habit of streaming all the time, and then it almost becomes like this tick. Like when you're not on camera, it's like, dude, I should be streaming right now.
Right.
I need to be online, you know?
That's such a torturous thought. Like,
It is.
stream, and I'm not doing anything else. I should turn on the stream, like, or figure out what I need to do, or I don't know. But Kitten said, yeah, I definitely been going to the beach, and that's been doing amazing for me. Amazing. Like, I don't remember the last time I've just been like, I felt relaxed, I guess. And that, I mean, amazing in the sense of when I stream, I'm happy and having a good time. And I don't know, the beach has definitely been really good for me. I think I've said that in the past 2 podcasts. I want to drop that into people's heads, you know, take a break, enjoy yourself, because I didn't do it for a while, and it's been very nice.
Something about being able to turn off for a little bit, you know, just flip the switch and be able to walk away. I haven't been going to the beach, but I have been getting back into video games again. Just playing something completely offline, nobody else, single player, just kind of focusing in, and usually it's how I end my day now, and it actually has been helping me sleep better.
That's good.
Even though I'm gaming with all these monitors around me and everything else, I actually sleep better because my brain switches gears and it kind of slows down a bit. So yeah, it makes a difference. It's healthy.
Yeah, totally. Like, I find I've been catching up on like old ideas, just like little things I've been wanting to get done. It doesn't have to be like game related or stream related. It's just stuff that's been floating. And because there's not like a new intake of mental processing, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? You're able to process the overflow, I guess, is what I can call it. And it's like when I started streaming, we were pretty small. Like, we were just getting started. And then I went through the whole growth, and I've never been able to step back and just process everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Because that's a whole nother thing. Is like everything that's been going on with the community and Marbles and Twitch even. It's just like, it's been insane. Right? So much attention.
Right.
And growth on the game on Twitch. And like the channel grew. We all grew.
Yeah,
everything's growing.
Yeah,
it is. It's been breakneck almost. You know, it didn't on the streamer side of things, in live streaming, not just on Twitch but everywhere. It exploded, and none of us were really like we expected things to pick up. We didn't expect them to pick up like this.
Right.
And I think all of us, like, once. And like along the lines of what we were talking about before we even came on camera, like we were talking about how we should tell some of the, you know, a lot of our fellow streamers and all that to be prepared, because now people are starting to get back outside a little bit, and things are going to go back to, well, at least the new normal anyway.
Right.
But I think it's going to be a good time also for those of us that have just been in there just grinding away at this thing during the whole pandemic and being there with our communities and all that. I think it's a good mental health reminder to tell everybody to go ahead, maybe take an extra day if you've got it, and get outside, you know, and enjoy while everybody backs off for a minute. Allow yourself that opportunity too. Stop and think about what's grown, what's gone on in your channel, what you've liked during all this, what you didn't like, what you've learned, that kind of thing. Allow yourself that opportunity to process a little bit and use that to build, you know, going from here forward.
I think something that's actually helped me with that, it's like so the past couple weeks I've had I've had kind of some events lined up on my stream for things, tournaments, or Fridays, money marbles, whatever it is. And so I know that I have those things. So on those in between days, I'm kind of just like, okay, I can just take this day to do absolutely nothing and have a mental health day, kind of, and then it's like, and then I'll be good and rested for the next day to kind of prepare for that event that's coming up, rather than just like draining myself through the week and then doing that event.
Yeah.
So having those things, that's something that's always helped me too. I used to play in a band, and like when we had a show lined up, I felt like it was just easier to work on that when I had the show lined up, and then know that it was worked on and take a break from like working on it, I guess, if I had accomplished a certain amount and in the right time.
Yeah. It's and it's so easy to do that to yourself too. It's like I look at it gets to the point where you start living by a calendar, and I look at the calendar and I go, somebody will ask me if I'm down for something, and I'm like, oh yeah, I got a blank spot there. And one of the things that I've learned to do over time is also pay attention to where my days off are, where my days off camera are, because to your point, Spooo, it's really critical. If you've got something major coming up, you want to make sure that you're rested and prepared for it. If you've been beating yourself up all week on camera and then you try to do that big event, it's not going to be anywhere near as impactful, because you're not going to bring the same energy.
Yeah, because you're coming to the end of your week.
If you're not prepared too, you're going to just stress out, and that's going to make it even worse the whole week, or the whole however long.
No, yeah, totally. And then it just stacks with your community, and then with that event.
Yep.
Yeah. Sports Cat Squad just took a few mental health days this week. It's the best thing I've done in a long time. Yeah, it's easy. It's really easy, Josh, to get so wound up that you're not paying attention to yourself. That's something that I've had to through the pandemic. I think I've had more conversations in terms of Twitch growth. I've had more individual conversations with streamers about that than any other topic. Because everybody is it's like what Spooo was saying earlier. Well, I'm home and I don't have anything else to do, so I'm going to jump on and do extra streams. And people were doing 10, 12-hour streams. And it's like, even though the pandemic is on, and even though we want to be there with our communities, absolutely, I totally get all of that. But you still got to give yourself a little time off in the middle of all that too. You've got to, exactly what we're talking about, whether you're taking the time to think about what you're doing on your channel, whether it's simply you need to take that mental health day, whatever the case may be, do it. You can't, because you can't beat the daylights out of yourself all the way through, because you've got to remember that in the background of your life, you are going to have other things going on too that are related to the pandemic that you still need to take care of too.
Right.
So while you're focusing on what you're doing on the Twitch side, make sure that you're also taking care of what's going on elsewhere in your life as well. Allow yourself that time to do that.
Yeah, mostly if you're going through growth.
Yeah,
you're going through a lot of like new faces in chat. That's a lot. It's a lot of mental strain. Processing all that information. I think that's a big one.
Yeah,
is like just the information intake.
Well, it wears you out. Like Standard said too. Kind of like you sleep better sometimes when that goes on.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But you got to make sure you get that sleep instead of like pushing through and straining yourself.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Go ahead, Spooo.
I was going to change the subject kind of.
No,
so if you
go right ahead, I was just going to make a side. I was just going to say, give yourself a chance to put your brain in neutral. That's all I was going to say.
Yeah, so. Exactly, for sure. And going along like the lines of streaming all the time, we're able to do that now because of the whole pandemic stuff, and people are home, and that's why we're seeing so much of this growth. But all that's gonna start fading now, So it's important to not feel like you're stuck on a schedule of streaming all the time too. And I guess that's like a break off point of what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
You want to stay in a routine regardless of kind of what's going on around in the world, so you don't get used to maybe pushing yourself so hard through the pandemic, and then it's like, well, I keep pushing afterwards and I'm just wearing myself out like crazy.
Yeah.
You also can't let the whole change affect you in like a negative way. You know,
Right.
like
That's
Mhm.
yeah.
if you're seeing a decline in viewership, if you're paying attention to your stats, if for whatever reason, um, don't get down on yourself because the ecosystem's changing a bit, because it happens. And if you do see a massive decrease, you want to check the stats of Twitch and know just the time zones you're playing in and why those things are happening. Don't immediately blame yourself. Try and like understand your ecosystem and then expand on that, and then look at yourself after you've analyzed the first things that can be affected, which is everybody going back to work and school being out and people being outside more. Last summer we saw a massive decrease in user base for marbles. So just based on old data, you can say, okay, well, this summer we can expect there's going to be a decrease as well. People going outside and doing their thing and prepare for the return in August, September, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And what can you do in that in between time?
Yeah, because people are still paying attention online. They just may not be watching live streams as much. They might be on Twitter or Instagram, just browsing every so often. So
More quick content type thing.
yeah,
things.
yeah, keep that conversation going. Use
Oh, and then I was just gonna say, in light of the COVID thing, like even more people are gonna jump outside, right?
I think so.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's gonna be I really do predict there's gonna be an initial, well, originally I should take that back. What I was gonna say is we're gonna see an initial an initial major downturn because everybody's gonna be like freedom and they're gonna be running out the door, and then life will get a little more back into a routine for everybody again, and they'll be spending some time outside and some time inside. But it's unusual because I think the change is kind of sneaking up on us because it's been gradual. Like there are already some states, some countries, all that are allowing, gatherings at restaurants again or limited capacity, or like I know where I live, they've got patios, they're allowing the patios to be open at restaurants now. So people are starting to get out. So it might be a slower, more gradual decline than we originally thought was going to happen. It's not like everybody is going to be open at once.
No,
It's going to be like this. It's going to be like this slow return. But to the point we're talking about, and I was just thinking about this as we were talking about it, this is the first time that a lot of our new streamers have seen a higher level of success in terms of viewer counts, things like that. So just looking at those pure raw numbers, it's the very first time they've seen this. So coming into the summer, we all have this experience under our belts already, where we're used to this natural, like it's a gentle decline, everybody. So you're gonna be like, if you're here right now, coming into the summer, you're gonna see this gentle decline, and it's gonna dip down for a couple of months. So be prepared. Like June and July, I remember June and July for me last year were not the greatest, So you're gonna see this dip down for a bit, and then as Pixel said, as you get to, especially towards the end of August, you're going to see it start to climb back up in September. People start to get back to school, things like that. They start getting settled into their routine. And by the time generally October, like mid-September, October starts to roll around, things are really back into full swing. And what's interesting is Twitch follows the same business pattern, so to speak, as the whole video game industry does. Like you'll notice a lot of video games get launched September, October, November, especially coming ahead of Christmas. But it's also because a lot of people are back inside, and that's when that's why video game sales are higher during those months. Same thing with Twitch, same thing with television entertainment. That's why TV shows, like they won't put a lot of new TV shows out over the summer, because people aren't inside watching as much. So you got to remember that we're the same as every other industry in that regard. And my whole point is here, don't get discouraged. Know that this is coming. Know this is a normal thing, and you're gonna be back up there. September, October especially is when things usually really start to fire back up. So give yourself that opportunity. But again, for a lot of you, it's going to be the first time you've seen some accelerated success, and it's awesome. Just don't let your heart drop out through your feet when you see that gentle decline.
Yeah,
that's a normal thing. Very normal thing.
And that can also be caused by game releases as well, just slight declines in viewership as well, right? As it pulls attention if you're not playing that game or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, you just can't get discouraged. I think that's the biggest thing. Is a lot of people look at a situation and immediately go, well, now I'm discouraged because X. It's like, you just can't let, because there's always going to be something else that's going to bring those thoughts.
Yeah.
Right. And you're going to be like, oh man, another hurdle. But like, get excited for those, because those are challenges on the horizon. They're probably going to teach you something new.
The first time, just as a side note, the first time I ever noticed my numbers get crushed for marbles was when WoW Classic came out. WoW Classic came out, and for like 2 weeks straight, my numbers, probably 25%. I lost viewership, and I didn't think much of it because I knew it was out, and I knew how much of my community enjoyed the game and played it already. So when that came out, it didn't completely surprise me, but it was a little more significant than I thought it was going to be. I was like, and everybody came back after a couple weeks, like, yeah, we've been playing WoW, we've been really enjoying it. It's like, oh, okay, you know, it moves in phases.
Yeah.
It moves in phases, you know.
Well, WoW affected so many, like, it's been around for so long, right? So WoW Classic affected so many people. So I'm sure just the percentages of people going, hey, I might as well go check it out. It hits home for me.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely had a moment of just trying to figure out what the heck I wanted to do, I guess. And I got hit hard. I lost consistency in my stream, and I feel like I got hit hard and then I was getting discouraged and like, what the hell do I do? I didn't want to do full-time marbles, but I still wanted to do marbles a lot. So I just started kind of like figuring out what I could do on certain days with other games and then do on other days with marbles and stuff. And I'm slowly falling into it, and I think that's why. Well, that plus a bunch of other factors, I'm sure, is that why I'm starting to see like the growth again. But yeah, for a while, I mean, I had that little dip that Standard talked about, and then I've just been like plateaued and trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing. And now that I'm somewhat figured out what I'm doing, and I'm happier because of it, you know, the growth is happening again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. 4 days of consistency per week as a streamer will outmatch 6 days of streaming being all over the place at any point, you know, because the consistency, again, it's always about, you know, people, support comes from trust.
Yeah.
And people will trust you when they know when they can find you, and they can rely on the kind of content you're going to bring. Not that you can't try new things, you absolutely should try new things. But you want to make sure that you keep kind of a consistent theme, you know, and like, you know, when you're looking at things, you know, my community might like this, maybe we should go try this, but make sure you keep it, you know, keep a relative consistency between all the content that you do. That's really important.
I had a thought and I lost it. Oh, I feel like it was good too. Anyways, I started reading CCB's comment. I think it kind of pulled my mind off.
Well, I mean, CCB is one of those people that probably remembers me saying, like, when I first started playing marbles, I was like, this game's gonna blow up, man. This game's gonna be huge. I mean, it's taking time, but it's really starting to get there, man. It's picking up pace.
I wish I had more data on like what exactly was going on, you know, like you could say like, okay, you know, users are being driven in from here and here, and like this is why we're booming,
right?
But I just don't have that data. And it, you know, coming from like the developer standpoint, it's like, it's interesting, and you start understanding why companies want more data is because you can just serve your customers better and know more about them. So like, I'm just starting to see reasoning as to why game companies kind of build more, like, are really analytic based. Yeah. A lot of people are always like, oh, you know, get those analytics, make sure you're tracking all the data of your users. And it's like,
right.
It's like, well, I don't want to know all that stuff. But you want to, like, you don't want to know somebody's personal thing. Like, you don't want to know one person's thing. You just want to know the picture, the big picture, right? But in my head, like, the way I always thought about it is like, I don't want to know I don't want to know Jim's address and like where he lives and all this stuff. Like I don't care. Like but now in the like, for the big picture, you're starting to see it. You're like, man, I just want to like help everybody. I want to put more work into this project. But yeah, like without the data, it's just hard.
It is. I had this conversation with just somebody yesterday. Knowledge is power. You know, it's really like you need, when you first, it's really funny. Like, and I won't try to speak for everybody. I can really speak for myself here. Like, cause some people are very numbers driven right off the bat. But when I started streaming, I just streamed. I wasn't paying attention to any of the analytics. You know, the only analytic that I was really aware of was how many average viewers I had from the stream before, you know, whether that number was 2, 3, 4, whatever. And as you really start to grow and you start to realize that your community is going to speak to you more truly through their actions than through anything else. Because there's a lot of people in your community that if you ask for feedback, some will give it to you, a lot will not. They're going to be very passive, and depending on what you do, you can watch the analytics shift.
Yeah.
But that's the point I'm coming around to, is that as your channel grows, as your content grows, those analytics are going to become very critical. That's what indicates to you whether you're actually doing right by your community or not.
Yeah.
You know, if you try something, like if you try something new, your numbers are gonna normally dip anyway. That's a normal thing because it's something your community isn't used to. But if you try something new and your numbers actually crash, you know to never do that again, kind of thing.
Or that you need to build that.
Yeah.
My dad's a really good example of that. He started marbles and grew really quick, like up to a 40, 50 viewer average.
Mm-hmm.
And then he realized that he wants to do dancing and health stuff. So he changed up his whole framework and went down to 2 viewers. And he stuck to it, and now he's building it back up. It's like, you just need to be aware of the cause and effect of your actions and be prepared to commit to that idea, because it could take a while. Like my dad shifted and then had to build it for like a year.
Yeah.
And here he is now, and he's doing great. And it takes time. It just takes time.
There's a comment in chat. Here in Europe, marbles on a stream is not recognized enough. I speak as a fan of marbles and all the streamers outside. I'm from Portugal, and here we try to make streams, but we never get support. I don't know if there could be anything that could help here in Europe to expand marbles further. My main point to that is be that movement.
Yeah.
Marbles was nothing here in North America, right? When it first started. Like you have to encourage people, you have to inspire people, you have to get everyone involved that you can. You got to spread the word, you got to be the movement, and you just got to be the movement, period. If you want something to happen, you got to hop on it.
Yeah, build it.
Yeah.
Like
there's nothing stopping you, and you can do it. You can get people involved.
And like we were just saying, you got to pay attention to the data. And Twitch data, it doesn't, like, it peaks when Europe's sleeping.
Yeah, that's tough.
Like I would love marbles to be relevant 24/7 and just people be, cranking it nonstop from all parts of the world at all times. But that's just not the Twitch meta. And that's something to talk about. It's something to know because you're in the industry. If you want to be a streamer, if you want to be a part of this, a part of Twitch and whatever you're watching, is like you need to understand people's schedules, and that a lot of the main influencers and content creators on this platform operate within a time frame. I wish I could pull up a graph or something on the screen, but that follows Twitch's flow. That 4 p.m. is that hot point, and then it starts dipping after that, and before that is a ramp up. And you just got to be aware of these things and plan your events accordingly. If you want to tap into discovery, right? If you're in a discovery mode for your channel, you want to find a way to tap into more of those potential viewers and potential people that could stop in and say hello. So how are you going to frame yourself to set yourself up for those situations? It's either I aim my channel and crank a bunch of marbles during the hot times and then create the conversation elsewhere to drive traffic in, right? Or you run big events through, you know, other methods, other social platforms, and find a way to drive the users into your channel and keep that conversation going. It's a challenge, and it's always shifting. Like now
Yeah.
TikTok has an insane amount of attention, and people
Yeah.
are still to this day being like, well, that's for kids. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, but you don't have to put out videos about music either. You could just put in a video of yourself. You know, these platforms start off with very, you know, they're very specific to like a style, but then they expand out because everybody starts onboarding because the attention is there. Wherever the attention is, you need to move and shift. And that's just a fact of this industry.
Yeah, look at the platform we're on right now. Look at how Twitch started. And now we have games like marbles, we have categories like just chatting. It initially was, it was geared towards people who were really good, by the way. The most popular streamers were the ones that were really good at the games they played. It was about almost about the elite in the beginning. And then that slowly started to build out. People started to figure out that it was more about the personality of the streamers that they were hanging with, and how people, the relatable value, how people identified with the streamer, and how they identified with the community that the streamer had built. And then again, you know, going back to this real quick, just chatting became a thing. People doing artwork on stream became a thing. They started doing music on stream, and these all started becoming their own categories. So the way Twitch is just the example. The way Twitch is built out, to Mike's point, everything else is going to build out that way as well. But there have to be, in order to generate that interest, sometimes you have to be willing to be one of the pioneers and say, you know what, I'm going to try to forge this direction on this platform and just see what happens.
Yeah.
You know, let's see how it goes. But if you sit there, and Facebook is the opposite. Like, you hear people talk about how TikTok is only for kids, and then you hear people say, well, Facebook is for old people. Well, neither is true. I've heard both, and it's about where your audience actually hangs out.
It's where
That's
you've
you wanna put your
cultivated
content.
your audience,
Mhm.
your community.
Yeah. And really think it through, guys. Really think it through. Think about where your audience, where your community now is hanging out. I was throwing extra content up on Facebook just kind of on a whim, because I was making the content anyway. I had the Standard Damage Facebook account, so I might as well put the content up there.
Yeah.
I was surprised to find how much of my community was there. Twitter is still my home base, but I want to make sure that I get that content up on those other platforms. Instagram has been surprising for me too. I've actually been very surprised by Instagram and the response I've been able to get there.
You just got to frame the content per platform, right? Like Instagram's very like scrolly, so you got to get something that catches the eye really quick. You know, Twitter is a quick conversations, so you want to catch somebody with the first few words. There's so many.
That just goes along with learning the environment, right, and what your strengths are and everything. And thank you.
Yeah, and if you're growing, and you want to continue growing, and if you know in your head you're like, I can't do this, well, then you got to find somebody to lean into you who can, because these are just facts. These are things that need to get done. So if you know you can't meet the demand, find somebody who can support you who can, and make a deal with them, whatever your personal deals are. That's your own business, but you got to find that. And if you find somebody that could share the business with you or whatever, you know, like, hey, if we grow this to this big, we can do this. And you just set up goals and start bringing people close to you who can support your goals and where you're trying to get to. And it, of course, it supports whoever is jumping on board with you. They want experience doing videos or whatever, posting on social. And just that's how I started with Enders. That's how we got started. And it was just like, hey, can you do some posts? Because like I just can't develop a game, run the team. I need help. And he was like, I'm here, like, if you need it. So, and it just started very small, and we grew into it. Now he runs everything. So yeah, you need to find these people who can support your weaknesses, and it's okay to have weaknesses too. That's another thing. Is like, there's nothing wrong with being self-aware and being like, yo, I'm bad at this, and I need help. And whether it be like, hey, can you help me do this, or can you do this for me, and we'll have an exchange of some sort. I mean, I've learned that asking for help is good.
Well, I feel like you need people to grow for sure. Otherwise, you're going to get to that point where it's like, I'm doing everything I can do and I can't do anything else. And I don't have the time to learn a new skill because I'm doing all this other stuff. And it's just like, I need somebody to make that plateau go up a little bit. And then once that starts plateauing, then you take that next step, and it's just like a constant state of, okay, I'm stuck. I got to another sticking point. How do I get past this? Okay, I got to another sticking point. How do I get past this? With streamers, it tends to be, I'm at 5 viewers. How do I grow to 10 or 20? And then, I'm at 20 viewers. How would I grow to 30, 50? You know?
Yeah.
It's just constant. How are you going to do that? Are you just going to sit there and keep doing the same thing? And we talked about it before the podcast. What were you saying? Like, your content gets stale, or I don't know,
saturating your content, saturating yourself,
your content, and yourself by just doing the same thing for so long.
Yeah,
you got to spice things up too. If you find yourself plateauing, you just got to spice yourself up a little bit somehow.
Yeah, and it's one step at a time. You don't need to like swing a big hammer and it changes everything.
Right.
Like just plug away a little bit at a time, because as always, this is a marathon. And you could be prepared to do this for a long time. Whether you want to do it part-time or full-time, you're going to have your goals laid out, but you got to be planning to like plug away at this for a long time if you truly want to build something that's real for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
We've all been on a path for a very long time, and we're all on our own little, I guess, our own little pathways of the big path, trying to navigate our way in, right? And you know, hopefully when paths cross, it's awesome, because you know that's when your like collaboration and growth happens, and then you just keep going in the same direction. And so it's great to like build with people.
Yeah. It is. It's, you need, I think the greatest part of that, Mike, and I've learned that through my experience with the team, is it's nice to have somebody, and it's really important to have this in your life, have somebody you can reach out to, or in this case, several somebodies you could reach out to and say, you know, I had this idea, or, hey, I'm feeling a little bit low, you know, or I need to talk to you. I need to bounce this idea off somebody that I know will give me a blunt, honest opinion. Can I talk to you for a few minutes? Like, it's really nice to have that in your career and in your life. You know, it's actually very, very critical, because it can help you, it can help prevent you from making some very wrong turns, and it can also help encourage you to make some very correct turns. And while nobody else can really ultimately tell you what you can or should do with your content, at the same time, being able to bounce that idea off of somebody, even if that person is just playing devil's advocate and giving you a different point of view, it's so helpful to your growth. It's incredibly helpful to your growth. It gives you, again, it's a lot about encouragement, and maybe a little discouragement. And maybe that's something that you need too, in terms of, I have this idea, and the other person tells you, well, I don't think that's a great idea.
Right.
So you either have to strengthen your resolve and go back over the reasons you wanted to do it in your own mind to explain it to somebody else, or like I said, it's the encouragement you need to keep pushing that direction.
Being comfortable to just express ideas with other people, knowing that you might get backlash, or you might get support, or you might get brainstorming ideas. I agree. It's just so important to have somebody like that you can just be like, hey, here's my idea. What do you think? Oh, well, to me, it's kind of like, but maybe you could do this. And it just turns out you just got to be adults about it when you're talking about it, and not be like, well, why don't you like it? Or just talk through the things and brainstorm, and you never know what kind of awesome idea you can come up together with just by expressing your ideas.
Yeah. Spooo, you've said it yourself several times, like when you're giving feedback to somebody, if they've asked you for it or they've come to you about it, you know, how important it is to talk about the things they're doing right, as well as the things that they might want to look at in terms of improvement, or maybe, you know, changing something up a little bit, things like that.
For sure.
Like being honest with somebody. And that's something I've had a tough time with myself. It's like, I have no problems telling people what they're doing right, but when it comes to telling them what they're doing wrong, it's like, because to me, wrong is very subjective when it comes to content creation. Just because you personally don't like something doesn't mean that 5 other people out there might not. So then it becomes more along the lines of, I have some ideas, I'm going to throw these at you. and you can take them and do with them, you know, what you want. And, you know, you decide for yourself whether or not that's going to fit what what vision you have for your content and what you want to do.
Yeah.
Because we keep coming back to, right or wrong, we keep coming back to the fact that you have to be happy with your content.
Yes.
You know, you've got to be happy with it. You got to be passionate about it. And if somebody comes along, by the way, and gives you some advice you know is going to make you miserable, it might be the perfect thing to do, but it might just not be you.
Yeah.
You should probably set that aside, because if you get successful doing something you're not happy with, it will not be long-term success.
Yeah.
That's just a straight up given, because you're going to get burned out on it. You're not going to like what you're doing.
I was literally just building that reply for D3 Dex. Said, like, what's the fun in that? What's the fun in doing all these things? If you don't see fun in this, why are you doing it?
Yeah.
Like, if you're not having fun with what you're doing, move along. Go do something else. Go do something else that makes you happy. Because if you're looking and just finding the negatives, I hate this, you're gonna hate life, and that's no good. Why would you want to do that? That like makes no sense. I did that for the first, when I was from my 20 to 30 age. Complain.
Oh yeah.
And it goes into your head, and then all you think about is the negatives. You need to flip that out. Just get it out. Get it. There's no value in it, right? And if you're not having fun, change it. Do something else. Okay, I don't like this. It makes me angry. I don't like this. Move along. Okay, try this thing. That's what I did. I ran a comic book shop for 4 years. I ran properties for a couple of years. I liked the business, but I didn't like doing those things as much as like what I'm doing now. Like, this is like my passion. This is what I want to be doing. Like,
relatable.
Yeah.
I've poured through a lot of different jobs thinking it was something I might have wanted to do, and now I'm in an industry like that kind of mixes everything I've enjoyed of those jobs in one, and it's been, I don't know, it's just, I've been having a blast. I do have a lot of fun watching numbers grow and inspiring people to watch their numbers grow and things like that, and brainstorming, giving people ideas for stuff, and people giving ideas for me, and it's just like this whole social environment that's it's exciting for me to do that type of stuff. And then when like we talk about plateauing, and it's like, okay, that's like a challenge to overcome. That's fun to me too. I love challenges. So it's like, all right, I'm stuck here. How am I going to push through this and grow and do better, I guess.
Great answer, D3 Dex. So like that whole thing, what you just said there is great. So you don't like the business part? That's where you need to find your business manager and tuck them into what you're doing, because otherwise you're not. And once again, this is like, if you want growth, if you're trying to grow and you want your channel to build into something, then you need to accept the facts and do the things, or bring the people on to do the things that you don't enjoy.
If streamers out there are honestly just like, I like streaming to a couple of people, and I don't want to do anything else. I don't want to do social media. I don't want to network. I don't want to do anything innovative with my stream. I just want to kind of hang out and do that. Then you just have to understand that that's what your stream's going to be.
Yeah.
Unless you want to do more and start doing the business aspects of it. It's fine to be happy to hang out with 3 to 5 friends or whatever, roll balls or play Jackbox or do whatever you're doing, but you just have to understand that that's what your stream is going to be.
Yeah. Then you can't go complaining that you're not growing. Like, that's what we're trying to say, is like, if you're going to complain, there's changes to be made that will work and that you could try. But if you don't like it and you're happy, but if you're like happy with your couple of viewers, like Spooo said, it's just like, enjoy it, have fun. We're not telling you to do anything different. We're just saying, if you're complaining and you're like, ugh, I'm not growing, I'm not doing this, I'm not getting that, I'm not getting the attention I want, then get that attention. You can do something about it.
I think maybe the whole point of this podcast, right, is to talk about marbles and growth of streams and how we've experienced our streaming lives and connecting them with you and what you guys can draw from our experiences. And we're just trying to grow and learn together type of a thing. So, this podcast is going to have some business aspects to it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you got to remember too, that for all of our collective experiences, that there's still an awful lot that we're feeling out ourselves.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's one of the things that we want to do here. We can't I say this so many times, we can't stop you from stepping into pitfalls. They're going to happen for you, and they're a very necessary part of your growth, are making those mistakes so that you can learn from them. But if we can help stop you from stepping in at least a couple of them, mission accomplished.
Yeah.
You know, at least get you on a good direction, let you know that certain setbacks are okay, that they're normal, that actually it's awesome you're experiencing a particular setback, because that's a part of your growth. You know, and there's a lot of things that we've already gotten on the other side of, but there's still, and I'm going to say it again, everybody, there's still a lot that we have to learn too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that's the fun of this, is that we're doing it together. We're all learning this. We're all learning this together.
And we're just sharing the information.
Yeah.
Mistakes are always going to be made, but like, that's like we talked about, that's those hurdles that are going to make you stronger, and you know, you just got to learn from them and grow. Instead of punching yourself in the face because something happened, or I don't know.
Well, I mean, like it's like the whole idea of like trying new things with our mid-season end of season, right? Mix things up, try to change some hours, just see, you know, like even though we know the facts, we know when the peak times are, we want to see some data on some new stuff. You know, can we dabble with marbles in off hours with big events? Maybe. I don't, you know, like we just gotta, keep trying things with your content.
There's the aspect of, you know, people having lives that are involved in these events too, and you got to find the right time and day. And if it's not like the end of season where it's guaranteed to be on Sunday from whatever time to whatever time, it's just like we just got to try things and work with people and make sure everyone's on board for that event.
Yeah,
that's how you plan events. That's kind of how it goes.
Yeah, we've even been experimenting with the mid-season times and all that too. Like this time around, like this season coming up, like we were doing Mondays and Tuesdays, and this season coming up, we've actually got a Saturday night booked out for it. So it's gonna be, you know, again, like trying some different things and checking out a little bit of different data and what kind of results and response we get. Yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see how some of this works out.
It's just always this industry is always evolving. It's evolving so fast. So you just need to keep trying things, and that's why I'm really big on change. That's why I'm really big on changing systems that, you know, people might like, but I'm going to change it.
Yeah.
You know, because I see something new, you know, so I want to try it out, give it a shot. With the pachinko, it's got a lot of like little ideas in there that might come to marbles, because it's like my playground. It's like it's my thing to put out there, and I'm like, I don't care what people think about this. I just need to see what happens.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need to do that as a creator, is try something random that's in your head that's like, is this going to work? I don't know. But you got to try it. Because if you don't try it, then you're like, you're just always going to be there. Is this going to work? And then imagine somebody else tries it and you're like, oh my God, I had that idea.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you can't still do it, but it just means it's not as special to you, even you anymore, because somebody else just did it.
Yeah.
So just deploy on your ideas. Try them out. Try weird stuff. Try stuff that makes you go, is that going to work?
Yeah. It's really, and it's that goes back to, we talked about that a couple weeks ago too, Mike, that you experiment with some other content, try some other things out from time to time. And even if you don't feel like said idea completely works, or like you talked about earlier in the podcast, like maybe that's something I can build on top of. Don't be afraid to take ideas from one type of content you do and bring it into another. You can bring those ideas back. Trying different things means that you might have a new experience with something, or discover something that you love that you didn't think you were going to love, or you never saw yourself doing before. And you'll also be just as surprised at your community's response as well. Sometimes you'll do something on stream and you'll be amazed how much they loved it, and it's like, oh, so I should do more of that. Okay. Yeah. And then it becomes again this cycle where things build, like the part of the fun. Spooo and I have both talked to people about this, sometimes together, that theming out different days allows you to try different things on different days. As long as you keep a baseline consistency so that your community doesn't get thrown, that's very important. But theming out different days, trying different ideas on different days, it's like that should be done every day, or that should be limited to one day, or that didn't work on this day, but I bet when I'm doing my community day, that would be a great thing to do.
Right.
You know, again, it's how you keep the cycle of ideas.
We're just thinking about cutting it short. So instead of doing something for 8 hours the entire stream, just be like, I'm going to do this for an hour or two in the middle. And then it's more like, it's more spicy. It's like, oh, cool, this is only going to happen for an hour or two. It's like, just seems more exciting than be like, all right, well, we're doing this all day.
Right.
It's like, halfway through, I'm gonna do this little thing, and then maybe there'll be a little tournament around it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Just keep mixing it up.
Yeah.
With your content.
Yeah.
Oh man. 52. Any questions? Any questions in chat to like kind of bring it together? Bring it to a tip?
The last community day of the season.
Yep.
End of season tournament on Sunday.
Then the season goes down at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. Eastern. And maybe Spooo will do some extra races for prizes.
Oh.
And then yeah, we shut down for 2 days. So no points, no season for 2 days, Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday we're hoping to roll out the update with the new season.
We looking at 12 noon like we usually do, Mike?
Yeah, aiming for noon.
For?
Yeah, June 3 at noon.
I think if anyone's interested, Shen's TV is doing like an off-season tilted tournament thing. I don't know any details about it, but if you want to ask about it, I'm sure he'd be willing to tell you about it and stuff. There's something going on in his Discord too, and yeah. So if you're interested, this is like intense tilt tournament. It seems like there's rules for each level difficulty.
Oh, cool.
So check it out if you're interested. See what's up.
Oh, damn. Yeah. I don't know the details yet. Yeah, you keep your coins at the end of the season. All the purchasables stay except for the season pass for the map builder.
Yeah, he may be framing an event, or he's trying. I mean, he wants to do a tilted tournament his way, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Black Barbie. So that's a good question. I have a question of networking on social media. Is that the best way to get your stream out there? So it's not about getting your stream out there. It's about getting a conversation going around your brand. And that's what you want to build. And it's not going to be like go on social for a day and that's it. Like it's going to be something you want to build over time. So this would be my suggestion for a starting person getting started with a Twitch stream. Create your stream, create a Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and get on all the platforms with your brand. Be consistent on all the platforms. Name yourself the same and have the same image, exactly the same. So your brand is 100% recognizable. And then start a conversation. And whether your conversation is on stream or on any of the platforms, start talking and just keep talking. And if you don't have content to post, maybe go into the search some hashtags and dive into some conversations that are already occurring. Sometimes I dive into the Marbles on Stream search on Twitter or Instagram, and I just search through the posts that aren't added me, but they're just like there's keywords in the post. So like Marbles on Stream or Marbles Twitch, I usually Google, and you just dive into the conversation and get involved. And then you start building this relevancy to your brand, and then you can point that direction wherever you want. So if your Twitch stream is the place you want people to be mainly, is like start pointing all that content inwards. So, have links on all the profiles, and then also just mention what you do. Talk about what you do. Get passionate about it.
Hang out with people that do the things that you like to do too, like-minded people, like-minded communities. Make friends with those people. Get your name known in those people just by being a friendly person who hangs out and has fun and helps people.
Yeah.
I think that's clips too. If you can get clips and just post them anywhere.
Yeah. Because they all lead back to your channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the way algorithms work along the lines of clips, by the way, if you want to post your clips places, the best thing you can do, don't just post the link to the clip, because links on a lot of social media get buried because they're taking people off the site. So the algorithms actually fight that. But if you download the clip and then re-upload it, like I actually will download mine, I'll give it a treatment. I have a little standard damage, Twitch TV standard damage thing that pops up at the end. You don't even have to necessarily get that fancy with it. Just get in the habit of downloading the clip and then re-uploading it to whatever service you're putting it up on.
I didn't think about that.
That's a good idea.
It's native video gets treated much more favorably across all the services than a link ever does. Twitter,
Right.
I know in particular, like on Twitter a lot, you'll see link in bio, and there's a reason for that, because if you start putting actual links in there, it starts to bury the tweet. It'll bury Facebook posts. Instagram really doesn't affect, because Instagram, you can't really link to anything anyway. So there you really want to, like if you're doing Instagram, you want to upload to Instagram, absolutely, because there's no really other way to make the links work without some kind of picture or something. So, but yeah, make sure you download, and it's a quick process. Just download it real quick because they're tiny little clips. Download it and then re-upload it to whatever service you want it to go to. If you want to go next level, then yes, drop it into a quick video editor. Make sure that you put something at the end that indicates, like that actually advertises your Twitch or whatever site you're trying to get people to, and do it that way. That's like level 2. Level 3 is, then you start playing with camera angles, you start zooming in on faces. There's stages to it. But for right now, just if you're not doing anything, just get in the habit of downloading and re-uploading.
Get that stream content out there.
Yeah. And stop calling yourself small streamers.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It gets in here. It gets in there. And then
You're growing streamers.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If that's what you want, just know you're a streamer.
Yeah.
But don't get in the mentality of thinking you're small, because then you'll stay that way, because it's in your head.
Yeah.
It's really important. Like, think the way that you want to be. It's why we talk about negativity so much, because once it seeps in, it changes your thinking process.
Yeah.
And it angles you in that direction. You start thinking negatively, and you think of all the negatives that can happen instead of all the positives that could happen.
Yeah.
It's so important. It's so important. I can't stress that enough. But on that note, that's it.
That's it.
Thanks for coming out, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for coming out, guys. Mud? Everybody wave at Mud.
Everybody wave at Mud. That's Mudweiser's hand.
All right, guys. Yeah, thanks for coming out. It's awesome. Jamie?
Happy last community day. Get out there, win some prizes.
We will see everybody in about an hour, starting on my channel. Community day starts on my channel as always, everybody. So I've got the first 4 hours. Then we're going to take it all over to Big Brother Spooo. Spoo's going to have it for 4 hours. And then Spooo, you do have money marbles tonight too, right?
Indeed.
You're going to be leading right into that. So
Yes, sir.
yeah, please join both of us for what is going to be a really fun day. Once again, it's your last chance to win that Mad Cow banner. And Mike, it's going to be the last chance to win the retro racing stripes for a while too, isn't it?
Correct. That'll rotate out.
That's going to rotate out.
Yeah.
So again, if you want to grab those guys, please grab those. And look forward to seeing everybody in a little bit.
All right.
Sunday's end of season tournament, 1 to 4 Eastern.
Spoon and Backscast.
Spoon Backscast.
All right, guys.
Bye, guys. Thanks again.